I'm not going to say what you all think I'm going to say. But I'm just going to say that we're here because we can. You know, that's it. That's all.
That's all you got?
This is fun. That's why we're here. Yeah. You know what? Just cue the intro. Hello guys, Two Latin Brothers Podcast, also known as T.L.B.P. I'm Victor.
And I'm Adrian.
And I don't know what to talk about, as I always don't, you know, because eventually we just get into a topic. I don't know how we do that, but we just do, you know.
Right, I think the issue is that we've been, like, there's really nothing going on.
Yeah.
Literally every week we get on here, we hit the record button, and we're like, let's just see what happens.
But nothing much has happened. I mean, hockey's back.
Is it back?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, sports are coming back, and people are saying how like it's weird that like arenas are empty and stuff. Like even the players are saying it's a little odd. One player said it's like a scene at the Twilight Zone where he's like, I'm playing and there's no cheering, there's no noise. It's just all I hear is like the slapping of the stick. You know, like it's a little odd.
Yeah, it's like practice.
Mm-hmm. Well, not even then, because like some hockey players have like a specific ring where they practice, not like in the actual arena. So like, it's a little weird for them.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
And that's been the episode, guys. We'll be back again next week.
There's something else I was gonna say. There's been a lot of there's been a lot of funny stuff come out of that. Like for example, one of the things that I've noticed is that when they like for the baseball people, they're like letting you pay to have a cardboard cutout of yourself. Or like a little cardboard cutout and they'll still like your face on it. Yeah. So you can be in the like audience and I'm like, that's like, okay, that's cool and all, but like,
I mean, it's not so.
I'm not gonna be front row.
Yeah. Why would I pay so much just to have like a front row ticket?
Yeah, I can't remember. There was some YouTuber who said I should just buy an entire like arena. It's just me. Like, but it's just like all different poses.
Yeah.
I'm just like in there.
Make it look like the cardboard boxes are having conversations.
It'd be funny. It'd be really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, I'm gonna buy all.
Yeah.
I got none.
I got nothing either.
We've been going on runs early in the morning.
Yeah, we've been doing that. There's not much to talk about that.
Yeah, that's it.
Like we went for a run.
What have we done this week?
We started watching a show again every morning.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So we've started watching the Looney Tunes. Not like the old, like, first, like, kind of stuff. I'm talking, like, the one after.
After. I can't remember what year it's from, actually. Let me a sec.
He's gonna find out where it's from. But we started watching that, and it's more of like a... It's not like a kids like show. It's more like a preteen and up.
It's from 2011, so it's kind of old now. Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I don't know why it got It only got 2 seasons. I don't know why it got canceled.
Yeah,
because not enough people were watching it, but it was good. The other thing too is like, I don't know. There's just some jokes that like I appreciate them a lot more now.
Yeah,
it's like I'm older.
It's like you understand them.
Yeah,
and you're just like, I missed that.
Yeah. You know what's crazy?
What?
I was 14 when this show came out.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. That was a long time.
Yeah,
I was in grade 9.
Wow. I had like this whole moment of like, wow, like you were young. I was really young.
Yeah. If I was 14, how old were you?
I don't know.
You were... Wait
9?
a minute.
10? 9?
You were 9.
9? Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
You haven't lived that much.
No, I really haven't. I mean, 1 decade.
I'm not exactly sure.
It would have to be either 9 or 10.
I don't remember.
Because my birthday's late in the year.
I don't remember. And
You
it's
know
just
what?
starting August, so I don't know. What was I going to say? There's often... I don't know. Like, a lot of people don't notice, but, like, the age gap between us is fairly big. Like, especially when we tell people.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, what? Especially for Latin people. Like, because most people have, like, their kids, like, one after another. And then we come out here and we're like, yeah, we're just hanging out, you know, like,
Yeah.
But for those wondering, it's the gap is 6 years between us.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've talked about this before.
We haven't talked about our age gap.
I don't think we have. Anyway, but
there's nothing really that much interesting about it.
No, actually, it is because most Latin people have kids like one after another, right? And we've all seen the staircase, right? But in our case, it's not like that.
Yeah.
And then,
but that's more of, I mean, like, that's still very common, but I feel like that's gone away with time.
Well, but, like, it's also because, like, some of the Latinos that we know were born here.
Yeah.
So that changed a lot, right? Like, but if you go back to, like, Mexico or wherever.
Yeah, anywhere in Central America, and you see the steps of, like, the age.
Yeah. Like, or it's, like, just 2 years.
Yeah.
And then, meanwhile, like, any Latino born outside, it's, like, there's, like, this huge age gap between each other. But, like, ours is fairly big. And even, like, when I tell people who aren't Latino, they go, wow, your parents waited a while. And I go, and then I tell them I'm not the firstborn. And they go, wait, you're not the first?
Nah.
And I go, yeah. And then I'm like, yeah, I have an older sister. And they go, what?
Yeah.
Because they just assume that I'm the firstborn because, like, how big our gap is.
Yeah.
I had this one guy once, when I was telling him how I had a little brother, he was like, were your parents, like, really, really young? Were they, like, teenagers or something? Like, why'd they wait 6 years? And I go, no, it's just, I don't know, they waited 6 years.
They felt like it.
Yeah.
You know?
I know, the math is always interesting to me. I love doing that math because then, like, I can calculate and stuff, and I'd be like, I can time frame my stuff. I was like, this is how old I was.
You like to use me as a time reference.
Well, sometimes.
You're just like, how long ago was that? Victor wasn't there. You know what? It was before your time.
Yeah, because, like, I had a full 6 years. Like, I lived 6 years before, like, you were born. But, like, oftentimes, like, I'll remember things. Like, it's hard to remember things from back then because they were so long ago now.
Yeah, now I'm just, like, reoccurring. You know, I'm a reoccurring character in the thing, you know what I'm saying?
Like, you gotta think about this. Like, anything that happened before you were born was 18 years ago.
Yeah.
No, 17 years ago.
Yeah.
You're gonna be... Yeah, 17 years ago. So, like, you gotta picture that. For me to remember that far back, it's, like, it's a lot. Like, I mean, like, and really the other things that I remember before you were born would be, like, I don't know, like, kindergarten or, like, I don't know, stuff like that, or, like, people I knew
It's just, like,
before.
the smallest things. Like, those easy memories. Like attending school, you know. Like, I don't know, going to a park. I don't know, stuff like that.
There was, this kid who I was close to growing up, that we were close friends. But I remember that when you were born, like, we weren't so close anymore. Like, like, because our families and their family were close. But, like, as we grew up, like, we kind of went our own ways. But, like, I think back to, like, certain moments. Like, I remember, like, playing with these kids or, like, certain things that happened with them when I was little. But, like, it's hard. Like, it's kind of fuzzy. Yeah. Like, it's like, and the other thing, too, is, like, if I run into them, it's like, I know you, but, like,
do I?
I don't really know, because it's been, like, 17 years. Like, how am I supposed to, like, time frame this? Or it's like that great story I almost tell it all the time, where I ran into that girl who went to kindergarten with me. She remembered me by name, and I go, hey, she's like, hey, Jessica, and I go, oh, how you doing? Like,
how you doing? It's not like I don't remember your name, but how you doing?
And then she goes, it's like, it's been since kindergarten. And I go, yeah, it's been
I would have just stopped her in her, like in her way. I would have been like, how do you remember this face? What did I do to impact your life? Explain.
Look, I'm just wondering if, like, if she ever listens to our podcast, she'll just be like,
you didn't remember my name.
Well, no, it's because, like, I mean, by then it had been, like, what, 16 years? No, 15 years. It had been 15 years since I had last seen her, okay? Yeah. And then I had to, like, I came home, found the picture, and was like, there she is.
You like in your mind, you just aged her back.
Some people got the same. Like I still have the same facial features.
I mean, not as much anymore.
But I mean, if you saw me as a kid and you saw me as an adult, you recognize me. That's definitely you gotten older. Like, I mean, it's not like I don't look like a completely different person.
I mean, I don't see it because I didn't really see you as a kid.
I mean, we got pictures everywhere.
Yeah, but still, you've changed. Well, your facial features.
I mean, I've gotten older. That's all. Like, I'd still the same identifiable face.
Like, I mean,
I knew this guy growing up. He was like blonde, and then oh no, he was blonde, and then I didn't see him for a few years, and then I saw him again, and he had like brown hair. He had like even his eye color, I think, changed, and he was like way darker because he was like fairly light skinned.
Yeah.
But he had like olive skin, but he was like fairly light skinned, and then he was like super super dark, and I was like, the guy like as soon as it's his name, I recognize the name, and I go, where's this guy from? Like, why do I feel like I know him? Mm-hmm. And he walks up to me, and goes, hey man, how's it been? And I go, what? And he goes, yeah, remember we were in elementary school together. And I'm trying to like place his face, and then I'm like, wait, what happened to you? And he goes, so yeah, I was trying to place his face, and then I discovered that, or he told me who he was, and then as soon as his name clicked in my head, I go, wait, like, you don't look the same. And he's, and everyone else who was around us was like, what do you mean he doesn't look the same? And I go, he quite literally doesn't look
he looks the person.
Like, you think that child went missing.
Yeah.
That's how different it was. And I remember he said that when he turned, I think like 13 or 14 years old, his hair color started changing. Like, just on its own. Like, it just naturally happened. And I go, it's like how straight hair goes to curly hair, and like it's a genetic thing
as you grow.
And he was telling us how he says that the same thing happened to his dad growing up. Mm-hmm. So he's like, so I don't know why that happened. I'm like, I mean, it's not really the why. It's more like you're just like, I don't know you anymore kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, if I would have seen you in the street and you would have said hi, I would have been like, who's this weirdo? I don't know who he is. Kind of thing. But I don't know. I don't think you ever have you lived something like that?
I mean, I have with a few people. I see them like they're walking down the street, and then they'll just be like, hey, and I'll be like, sup? And I'll be like, do you remember me from like the school we went to? And I'm just like, wait, give me a moment. I gotta think back. And then they're just like, like I was in this class, I sat right here, and I'm like, oh, your hair changed. Your face changed. Are you sure that's you?
I remember there have been a few times where like I'll be walking around and I'll be like, oh, I know that person. Or like I'll wait for them to walk by, because like if we don't acknowledge each other, we don't acknowledge each other's presence,
nothing happens.
Yeah, like we don't say hi, which is, I know you, but I'm not going to say hi kind of thing. Which I think is kind of odd that we do.
We've talked about that.
Yeah, that we do that in society. Yeah. But so we walk by and I'll be like, I'll look at you and be like, I knew that person.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, me and this person, we knew each other.
Yeah.
Fairly well.
It'd be like if they think back real far, I was there.
I remember that oftentimes I find myself like, I don't know, I don't know, like I'd have to get like another person's perspective of how, because I feel like that from the person I was, even like in high school, to the person I am now, they're like night and day. So like when I reach out to people who I went to high school to, especially have them on the podcast, it must be a little odd for them because I'm like a completely, like the way I say things or even the way I express myself is very different.
It's more open. Like, you're not keeping to yourself as much. Because I find because when you were in high school, I find that whenever we'd be like, like hang out with people, you'd be like talking, but like if it was like really close friends, you'd be like open. It's like the gates were opened or something. But when we'd find like one of your friends like in the street or something, you'd be more closed off, not as open.
Well, there was a lot of other factors at play. I think you should know that.
Yeah, I know that.
It's kind of like when you run into someone and you're like, oh, now I got to explain how I know this person. Later on, my parents, and that's a whole thing. Or like sometimes, like sometimes it's that person you never want your parents to meet. And then you go, oh, now I got to they can't see that. Yeah. But there are those moments where like you instantly panic inside.
You have like this moment of just like
Or like when like when you act a certain way around certain people, and then you act another way around other people. Yeah. It's not that your face; it's just like different parts of your personality.
Yeah, it's like it's because like it's like let's say like you're hanging out with like a bunch of like people who are into tech, right? Mm-hmm. Your nerdy side of like that tech comes out, as in when you're with somebody else who isn't so interested, you won't represent that as much, right?
Yeah, for sure, right? So like people know you based on that, right? So then. You often find so like I remember this one time there was a guy who knew me as like a normal guy, and then we were in programming together, and we didn't find out till we were in the same class actually. We had one class together, and he like looked at me, and I was like, hey, and he goes, hey, and then we started talking, and then one of my friends from college goes, hey man, how's it going? And I go, oh, and then I was trying to be like that cool high school guy, but like trying to be like the nerd, and so it was like the struggle.
It was very conflicting.
The struggle was so hard. It was like,
it's just like, yeah, I was that guy in high school, but then I was like this guy now. I was so like, what am I doing with myself?
Like the whole time I was sitting there, like just trying to interact both of them simultaneously, and I was like, how's this gonna work
Worlds are colliding.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
Yeah,
it's a line that I love from that.
Oh, it was from Seinfeld. It's where George's relationship George is coming into, home George, liar George, and then his worlds
Coffee
collide. Coffee shop George, and his worlds collide.
Yeah, and Jerry's like going on how he's like, I like that George, yes, but if relationship George walks through that door,
he will kill
independent George.
Yeah, that's a great episode. Go watch that.
I don't remember what episode it is.
I don't know what it is. Just go to YouTube and just write, go to Google and write, what's the episode where Independent George almost dies?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll pop up. Yeah. If not, just go to Google, Seinfeld, type in Independent George.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll pop up. But yeah, that's literally what happened. I was like, internally, trying to figure it out. And I was like, I can't like be this guy and not be this guy, like like it's hard, especially because like at the time I was like 18.
You were still discovering. Well, you still are discovering.
Okay, look,
you are.
Oh no, it's more like you're trying to figure out who you're gonna be. But I've noticed that looking back at certain things, I'm like I still don't know.
I mean, I feel like you can never truly know who you are. Because you're always discovering new things, you're always finding new things, and you're always adapting. So technically, what I've come to just being is I'm me. I don't have to know. Why do I have to have a single definition to tell you who I am? I'm different for a reason.
Okay, so here's the thing. So I find that people just like to know who they are as individuals. It's more like it's a psychological thing. It gives us some peace of mind. It gives us like. It's like if I ask someone, not that it's wrong, but like if I run into somebody and say like, oh hey, how's it going? I tell them, well, I'm a college graduate, and then I ask them what they've been up to, and they go, oh, I've been working like, I don't know, at a coffee shop for the past 6 years, kind of thing, right? And then you go, oh, okay, that's cool, right? But like, I'm sure for that person, they're like they'll go back and, maybe if they wanted to go to school, they'll be like, man, see, that guy's already accomplished stuff, like, and I haven't, right? But in my case, I could be like, wow, that guy's been carefree. Well, I spent 6 years, like, stressing, having a heart attack. Yeah. He's been working and, like, living his life kind of thing, right? But not like, and I've been on hold for the past 6 years doing literally nothing but study and be like a loser at this point. Because I'm literally like, I'm that guy who doesn't go out unless it's absolutely necessary or someone does. What is it? The other day you were like, we're going to go buy tomatoes. I'm like, why? Because I said so. And I was like, what? You need to go outside. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's, I'm indoors.
You need to get some vitamin D in.
But like, it was funny. But like, and I'm sure those people will go back and see it differently. But I don't know. We all have our own perspective on it.
Yeah.
But like, literally the only thing we got is like our brain. It's also the only thing we'll ever have, because like your brain is what.
See, like the thing is, like you can be a different, like not like a different person, but you can be like different to different people. Right?
Well, yeah, like
be like, who are you to me? And I'd be like, I don't know. I'd be like, I'm like your friend from this place.
Yeah.
You can be different people, and that's what people don't understand. You can be different people, but still be like you can be different parts.
Well, it's yourself. Like there's this story I read. I can't remember. What's it called? Where like this girl, she like has like amnesia, and she wakes up and she doesn't remember anything of her past. I think they even made it into a movie or like a short film. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Like I read this in like I think it was like in grade 11 or not. I can't remember. But she has amnesia.
Yeah. And
her boyfriend walks in and tries to tell her like what she used to be like, and then her best friend, her brother, her parents, like who she was to them. But in the end, like she doesn't know who she is, right? And she's trying to figure it out, and they're telling her stories of like of her youth and stuff.
Yeah. But how her personality was and stuff.
And like her boyfriend tells her how she was so loving and caring and all that stuff. And then they do a flashback to how like they were always fighting and arguing, like and like you know like they're only telling her the good things but not the bad things. And then one day she's being released from the hospital, and a childhood friend who was one of her closest friends had moved away but came to see her. Yeah. And she tells her, "Hey, we weren't really." She's like, "We didn't really know each other in person, but we would have phone calls and we had lots of texts." And because she was like in this accident, right? She lost her phone, and she just hands her phone, and she starts reading through like all the conversations, and she gets like insight on all the arguments she had with her boyfriend, on the arguments because apparently she
found her true.
She found herself because she like her parents wanted her to be a doctor, and she wanted to like start her own business, and like it's like crazy.
It's because when you like in the situation like having amnesia like that, you wouldn't want the person to think of themselves to be a bad person, right? Yeah. So you would do your best to make them sound like they were good. Yeah. You know, but you always have that one friend that you can like open up to and tell them things freely. You know, like I'm sure we all have like that one friend who isn't a part of family who we just like tell things. Yeah. But we don't tell like in the family. Who knows why this is a thing? You know.
It's just yeah. It's because we fear internal judgment, right? Because like from the fam, right? It's like
it's like from the family you have a higher value. Like
and there's certain things you're like, I don't want my family to know. It's like it's just like I don't know, but like I don't know, like
but like her reading those texts was that one friend, you know.
I can't remember where this is from. Like this, I can't remember what the short story is called, but I remember reading this in English.
I want to read this book.
It's not. It's like I think it's like 14, 15 page short story. Honestly, and like a textbook.
I'm so mad at you right now.
I don't know. I think I read it in grade 10. I think
that would make sense because that's when you read short stories.
Yeah, but anyway, but like she's going through all these like texts or like you know, or I think it's like emails or something. Anyway, and one of the things that she discovers is like how her parents were mad at her for the career choices she made. Her boyfriend was always angry at her, and her brother and her were apparently never in agreement because that she was with her like the boyfriend she had wasn't like the best of people. Yeah. So, but like this entire time, right? Like all you know about these people are like, oh, like they're lying to her, right? Yeah. But then you see the other side, and you're like, oh, these people are just trying to like turn her into like the perfect person, and they're like barely even able to keep their own stuff together, right? But it's a very interesting story. Like I remember, and at the end she's like, you know what, I'm just gonna go figure out like at the end she concludes that she's gonna go figure out herself, which is really interesting because
she's gonna build up her own personality
again, right? Or like define herself as an individual, which is really interesting. Remember this other short story I read where
don't do this to me.
I wonder if you've read this one. There's another short story where this girl, she has like a body transplant, and like her mom makes her like her favorite cake, and her taste buds don't like it anymore.
I want you to realize something. Yeah. The time you were in grade 10 and the time I was in grade 10 was 6 years apart.
Okay, anyway, but like this is another really interesting story because like the girl, like, so she wakes up, right? Yeah. And when she touches things, she just like it feels different. Her taste buds are different. The way she looks is different. When she
can't recognize anything.
When she looks in the mirror, she doesn't see herself. Like so, she's like she feels like she's not her, right? Yeah. And then she runs into the mother of the girl whose body it built like right, and then you get the background that she had like this disease, but her brain was fine. Like her body was dying, but her brain was fine. And her daughter had passed away in a car accident. Wow. So what they did is she donated her bioscience, and then they did this brain transplant for her. And she's like, and she, like, the mother of the girl who died, like, found out, but she says, take care of my daughter. And she goes, and make sure, like, you live for her. And she goes, I'll do my best, but, like, what were her favorite foods?
Yeah.
Like, and then the story ends, and you click, because now not only is she her, she's also part of her daughter.
Yeah.
Because of those, like, and it makes you think about all these little things that we as individuals have, like the way we see things, the way we taste things,
for example,
the way we feel.
Like, just an eyesight alone, right? We don't know for certain that when I see something that's brown, if you see it the exact same brown I see it.
Yeah.
You don't know that when I taste a vanilla cake, that it tastes like vanilla cake. We've learned to correlate those flavors through time. And no matter if you do taste, like, let's say vanilla tasted like chocolate.
Yeah.
You were raised to see that vanilla chocolate, but taste it as like chocolate, And, like, you'd never know.
Yeah, but, like, it's a very interesting question, right? If we were to, like, I feel like people who get, like, hand transplants or stuff like that, they must go through that. Like, where they touch something and it doesn't feel
right,
like my hand. Like, it must be an odd sensation.
Yeah.
To say the least. I don't know. Like, I always find stories like that always interesting, but, like, they're, like, in some room somewhere and on a textbook.
It's either, like, man, the stories you guys are reading were so, like, conflicting.
There's another story that would be called Earthquake. I read this one. Yeah, he was also in grade 10. I can't remember if it was.
You're making me feel like I didn't read, but I read it.
We read a lot of short stories. So we do assignments where we had to, like, find, like, the main idea or whatever, or, like, we had to find, like symbolism. And
like, we had, like, a story, like, almost every day.
Yeah. So there was this one called Earthquake where I had to do a presentation on, or, like, this uncle's telling his kid about, like, this earthquake that happened, and, like, how he was, like, in his truck or whatever, but at the end of the story you find out that the whole story is fake.
It was just a lie.
Yeah, it was just a lie.
Wow, that's a pointless story. I wouldn't read
that.
It's
it's really funny though, because, like, at the end you're like, because he's, like, saying how, like, he was driving down, like, this road, and, like, electrical posts are, like, falling over, and then all of a sudden like, they just,
in the end of the story he's just like, just kidding.
No. The reason you find out is because his brother, so the kid's dad, says, I don't remember that. And he goes, oh, yeah, you were little when it happened. But then, like, the way it's, like, written, you can imply, or you can tell that, like, the whole story's fake.
Concur that.
Yeah, the whole story's fake. And you're like, wow, like, how did this happen? But yeah, I don't know. What was, like, a short story that you read?
I mean, I read ones of, like, people crossing borders. My stories.
Your
stories are so good. Like, I had stories of, like, a girl who ended up with, like, some necklace that was, like, from her great grandmother, and, like, the necklace had, like, an untold story, and the story was boring. Your stories sound like they had an actual story and lesson behind.
Yeah, like, there's this other one where, like, this girl, like, they're going to the beach, and I think I've talked about this specific story before already, where I don't know why I remember these so well. So they're going to the beach, and there's overpopulation on Earth at the time.
Okay.
And you have to go through these tunnels to go anywhere. But the tunnel randomly kills people, like, at random, because they have overpopulation.
Oh, so they're trying to knock it down.
Yeah, they're trying to take down the numbers. And they're like, oh,
it's like you're walking, boom, shot with an arrow, boom, mine.
But they're like, we're gonna go to the beach, and she's, like, terrified to go through because to go to the beach, you have to go through a tunnel. And she's like, we're gonna, like, I don't want to go.
Die.
She's and her parents said, don't worry, we'll be fine, it'll be okay. And so they go through and they have a good time, and they go to the tunnel. And then on their way back, as they're exiting the tunnel, the tunnel closes. So she lives, but like
she's closed off.
No, but it's more like you see the character have this moment of, like, realization how precious life is.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
something just to toss away.
Yeah. But then because she sees it happen, like, from the, like, rear of the car, and all she sees is, like, the tunnel close, and you're like,
just like, if I was in the middle of that, I would have died.
All the people behind us just died.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, it's crazy to think about. But I
living
was like,
life in fear.
Yeah, and it's like it's more like a life lesson to, like, try to live, like, your best life.
Try to live every day like if it's your last day.
I can't do that.
No, I know.
It's physically impossible.
No, I know.
You know why? Because I spent most of today taking a nap.
I know.
So that's not gonna happen. But yeah.
I think that's episode, to be honest. Like there isn't much going on in the world. You know, we're not gonna. It's not like all of a sudden, boom, lightning strikes, and then we have a story to talk about. Never mind, we're clear. I just checked. Like, just making sure. The sun's really out right now.
I know. There's barely any clouds.
No, I know. I went walking earlier with our mother, and there was only like 3 clouds I could see. So I was melting. I was physically melting.
Oh, you know what did happen that was eventful?
I don't know.
I got my diploma.
Oh yeah, you got your diploma.
I got my diploma. It came in the mail because.
Oh, I saw horses.
Okay, that's great. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I got my diploma, but like, okay, so I don't know how to explain this, but like after like the two years of work that I put into it, it's kind of weird. Like, cause you pick it up and it's like all the stress and anxiety
for a piece of paper,
for this sheet of paper. Like, I mean, it's wrapped in plastic because there's like a plastic case. Like,
I mean, I can print you a sheet of paper, laminate, like, put it in glass, but like, okay,
it's one of those like you pick it up and you go, wow.
I got it.
I almost died for this. Like, I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. There were nights where, like, You're
gonna ruin all of Indiana Jones for people right now. I almost died for this. Literally, like, every movie.
No, I mean, like, there are people who die doing... there are people who can't handle the pressure of school. But
that's why you have reading week.
Bro, that's really dark. I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up.
Well, guys, this has been T.L.B.P Brothers Podcast. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Everything's always in the description. You know, whether it's up, down, left, or right, or you got to click the 3 dots. Depending on what platform you're on, you guys can comment. If you guys want to, like, leave us questions, you guys can DM us or send us an email. Pretty sure you can even leave your voice if you go on Anchor, and maybe we can have your voice on the podcast. Yeah, that's about it. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Bye.